tropical fish keepers. Welcome to my favorite live stream here on Aqua Alex Live on the legendary Alex Cardinale YouTube channel. Welcome to Ask Aqua Alex Live, the fish keepers question and answer, where I, Aqua Alex Cardinale, answer all of your tropical fish keeping questions, whether they are saltwater or freshwater aquarium related. I look forward to answering your fish keeping questions tonight. This is going to be a fun live stream and a fun video. You know, Ask Aqua Alex Live is my favorite monthly aquarium live stream that I do, and I look forward to it each and every month. And the March 2022 edition is no different. Tonight we are going to have a blast. I have an action-packed show coming your way. My topics tonight, I'm going to talk about fish species that I don't plan on keeping, and I'm going to talk about aquatic reptiles and amphibians that I want to keep. Believe it or not, I have never kept aquatic reptiles or amphibians, and I want that to change really soon. What social media post am I going to react to on my new segment, Aqua Alex Reacts? Fish keepers show off their amazing fish this month, and I've got a big announcement to make regarding the return of aquatic wetline. That is all going down on tonight's edition of Ask Aqua Alex Live. It's going to be a really fun live stream, and you're going to enjoy it. So, my audience members, whether you're watching this video live or you're catching the replay of today's video, I will answer any and all tropical fish keeping questions. So, just post them in the comments. Have tropical fish keeping questions, freshwater or saltwater related? Remember, I have kept both freshwater and saltwater fish before, so I can answer pretty much any freshwater or saltwater question. Just post your questions in the comments or in the chat, and I will answer your questions live on the air. And if you are watching the video in the replay, in the archive, and you leave a question, I will respond to it in the comments, and I will still get you an answer to your question. We have an action-packed show. I got 3 questions that were emailed to me that we are going to answer as well. But let's get this show on the road and start with one of my favorite segments. And the name of this segment is Aqua Alex Ask You, where you, the fish keepers, can answer my questions. All right, so it's time for Aqua Alex Ask You. I'm going to ask you guys 3 questions, and you can post your answers to my questions in the comments, as well as ask your own questions. So this month, I have 3 questions that I'm going to ask you. I'm going to answer them as well. So here are the first 2 questions for Aqua Alex Ask You. Question 1. Do you like doing trade-ins with your local fish store, or rehoming to fish keepers via social media like Facebook or Craigslist? Question 2. What are your favorite freshwater schooling fish? And question 3. Are you for or against monster fish being kept in the aquarium hobby? Those are the questions that I am asking you. So it's only fair if I begin the show by answering them. So I'll start with question one. Do I like doing trade-ins with my local fish store or rehoming to fish keepers via social media? Well, my answer is I like doing both. Yes. I have positive experiences and negative experiences with the both of them. But a majority of the time, I love trading fish and getting store credit or trading a fish that I have for another species that I really want. So I'm going to talk about the positives and the negatives of both. The positives of doing trade-ins at your local fish store. Now, at your local fish store, when you do a trade-in, you're guaranteed to get at least some store credit. It's not going to be as much as you want. Probably your safest bet of a trade-in at a local fish store, you're probably going to get about 10 to 30% back what you paid for that fish, but that's still a lot. That could be anywhere from $10 to $40, depending on what the fish is. And if it's a common fish, you'll get a little less, but you'll still get something back. That's what I look forward to. When I do trade-ins at my local fish store, I can get fish food or some credit towards a fish that I really want, and that's something that I enjoy. Now, when I'm trading on social media with fish keepers, that's good because you get to make connections and interact with fellow fish keepers. Now, the negative side of that is that when you're doing trades at the local fish store, just about anybody can buy the fish. So you don't know whether or not your fish will be going to a good home and a much larger aquarium or whatever. But again, that lies on the fish store and not you. So it's really not your responsibility once the fish is in the fish store hands. And you really don't know much about the fish keeper you found on social media. So that would be my answer to that first question. I've had positive experiences and I've had negative experiences. One negative experience I had at a fish store that I no longer live near in Massachusetts, I brought him a wide bar silver dollar, Mylius Gumberkii, and you guys know that is not a popular silver dollar by any means of the imagination. That is a very rare silver dollar. So he took it and he said, "Thank you for dropping this fish off." And I was standing there waiting for him to give me store credit. And he was looking at me like, why am I still standing there? And I said, "How much are you going to give me for him?" And he said, "Oh, business is slow. I can't give you anything today." So I left upset. And then I turned out to find out that he sold that wide bar silver dollar for $90. And he gave me jack shit. So guess what I did? I didn't end up buying anything from him for a while. I would go to his store and window shop, but not buy anything, just to get revenge for being outed. That's how I felt anyway. But that's my experiences with trade-ins and rehoming fish via social media. Um, there's good and bad, but mostly good. I've had mostly good experiences. All right, question two that I'm asking you guys. For my favorite freshwater schooling fish, hands down, and you guys will see in my tank behind me, silver dollars. Mainly the Mylius and Myloplus. So that would be the red hooks and the black bars. Those are my favorite freshwater schooling fish. I mean, I like tinfoil barbs, I like bala sharks, but mainly my favorite would be the silver dollars and the flagtail Procholotus. All right. And the third question that I'm asking, are you for or against monster fish being kept in the aquarium hobby? Well, if you've been following my YouTube channel for quite some time, you already know the answer to this question. I am actually for monster fish being kept in the aquarium hobby. Why? Well, monster fish have the most personality of any fish in the aquarium hobby. Yes, you heard me right. I think monster fish have a place in the aquarium hobby. They have a lot of personality and they're an incredible fish. I really enjoy keeping monster fish. Now, I will say though, there are some monster fish that don't belong in the aquarium hobby. For example, red-tailed catfish, iridescent sharks, pacu, etc. Arapaima, especially. All those fish get way, way too big for any aquarium hobbyist to handle. So I don't understand why these fish are being kept in the aquarium. I don't understand how they're being made available. Pacus, red-tailed cats, and iridescent sharks. They are nice fish, but I don't think they should be kept in the aquarium hobby because let's face it, not everyone's going to have a pond or a huge aquarium to house them. Now, for the monster fish that I like things like Oscars, wolffish, lungfish, red hooks, black bar silver dollars. You know, things that'll get a foot, maybe 2 feet, but that's about it. I'm not into fish anymore that grow to 4 or 5 or 6 feet. Gars are another example. If you have a proper pond, then you should be able to get a gar. But unless you have long-term plans, then maybe it's best to leave these fish in the wild. But that's just my personal opinion. All right, so now it's your turn to ask me questions or answer the March 2022 Ask Aqua Alex questions. So you can answer my questions or post your questions in the comments below. We actually have a live question. Joe Smith is in the house. Good evening, Joe. Thank you so much for being here this evening. And Joe wants to know my opinion on the dwarf snakehead. You know, I love snakeheads, but unfortunately for me, I live in the United States of America, and snakeheads here are illegal. Unfortunately, we cannot keep snakeheads, and that's mainly due to the irresponsibility of fish keepers of previous generations because these people bought snakeheads and they released them in our native waterways, and these snakeheads uh, thrived there. They bred like rabbits, and now we've got tons of thousands of snakeheads living in United States of America, all over the United States of America. I live in South Florida, and we have a whole bunch of snakeheads in our canals, in our waterways. I'm sure there are some up in New England area. I'm sure there's some in Georgia, Texas, everywhere in the United States. Snakeheads are, and that is because people irresponsibly release them into the wild, and that ruined any future hobbyist of keeping snakeheads in the United States of America. Very, very sad. But you know what? I can remember growing up as a child, my dad raised several snakeheads, and they were a very, very cool predatory fish. As a predatory fish lover, it was awesome seeing snakeheads being raised as I was growing up. But I was so young at the time, I didn't realize that that would be the only time I would ever see snakeheads in person. Now, if I ever want to see a snakehead in person, I'll have to go to one of these canals and catch one, which will be a fun YouTube video in the future, I am sure. But I have never ever seen a dwarf snakehead or even read about them or learned about them. I really don't have any information on snakeheads in general, but I can tell you that they are a very gorgeous fish. And if they ever become legal again, which I am pretty positive will never happen, I will definitely keep them. Keep them. I think the snakeheads my dad had was the red line snakehead, which is very, very gorgeous. And for some reason, I had the belief that snakeheads were related to Crenchicicla, which are the pike cichlids, but someone told me they're in the family of air-breathing fish like gouramis and betta. So that was pretty interesting to learn about snakeheads. But fortunately for me, the closest things to snakeheads that I can keep in the United States are actually wolffish. I've got a gold wolffish, a black wolffish, and a rainbow or redfin wolffish, and they're equally as beautiful as a snakehead. Actually, right behind me is my gold wolffish. He's pretty cool. Very, very interesting fish. So, Joe, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for your amazing question on the snakehead. All right. So right now, I think it's time for my big announcement on the return of one of my most successful adventures that I've ever done on social media. So I would say a good 9 years ago, I got into podcasting. And at the time, I was only doing audio podcasts. I started with my cooking show, the Chef Cardinale Cooking Show, which is a radio show. If you've never heard of that, go Google it. And then I started a fish keeping podcast called Aquatic Wetline. Aquatic Wetline to date is my most successful podcast. I've had the pleasure of working with some of the biggest people in the aquarium hobby. I've worked with the founder of A.C.E, and A.C.E has life rock for saltwater aquariums, substrate for saltwater aquariums, as well as African cichlid substrates. I've worked with the president of Hikari Sales USA, and Hikari sells tropical fish food and the best frozen food on the market. I've done an interview with Waru Joey, or the king of DIY. There's a plethora, a whole lot of fish keepers that I've had the opportunity to not only interview but work with on Aquatic Wetline. And it is, without a doubt, one of the best things that I've ever done in my young 28-year-old life. I'm very proud of everything that I accomplished with Aquatic Wetline as an audio podcast. I may sound a little bit egotistical in saying this, but there's a reason why Aquatic Wetline was one of the only well-known fish keeping podcasts for a number of years. And that is because I stayed around for a while. Some podcasts started and then ended because they couldn't come up with unique topic ideas. But I was there for many years, and I have a whole lot of episodes. If you research Aquatic Wetline right now, you'll come up with all of my previous episodes that I've done. So the Aquatic Wetline audio podcast is staying retired. But I'm here today to tell you that Aquatic Wetline is coming to Aqua Alex Live, and Aquatic Wetline is coming to my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. An all new, bigger, bolder, better version of Aquatic Wetline will debut on Tuesday, April 26th, 2022, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. The all-new Aquatic Wetline is going to have two co-hosts. I'll be one of the hosts, and my other host will be Steve from Steve's Aquatics. And every month on Aquatic Wetline, there will be a special guest fish keeper or special guest fish keepers. So, whatever topic we have on Aquatic Wetline that month, you'll have my opinion, you'll have Steve's opinion as my co host, and our guest opinion as well. So, Aquatic Wetline is coming back as a video podcast, and it's going to be called Aquatic Wetline Fish Keepers Roundtable, because you're going to get the opinions of several fish keepers, and it will be a better view for my fish keeping audience. Really proud that Steve and I were able to recreate Aquatic Wetline and bring it back on Tuesday, April 26th, 2022, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And my first guest for the relaunch of Aquatic Wetline is James Anthony. So I've actually made a promo earlier today going over the relaunch of Aquatic Wetline, and we're going to play it right now. And when we come back, I'll answer some more of your fish keeping questions. Hey, fish keepers, you know who I am. I'm Aqua Alex Cardinale, and I made my name on a podcast known as Aquatic Wetline, my most successful podcast that I ever hosted, and perhaps the most successful aquarium podcast out there, past or present. If you've never heard of Aquatic Wetline, just do a Google research and you will see all the amazing episodes that I have hosted. But today I'm excited and honored to tell you that Aquatic Wetline is making a comeback. Aquatic Wetline is coming back bigger, bolder, and better than ever. And Aquatic Wetline will be hosted right here on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. It will be a video podcast. That's right. Aquatic Wetline will be coming back as a video podcast. Now, Aquatic Wetline is coming back in a whole new platform and a whole new experience. Aquatic Wetline is coming back as a Fish Keepers Roundtable, which means there will be multiple fish keepers on the show discussing a wide range of topics. There's going to be two hosts and a fish keeper or multiple fish keeping guests. Aquatic Wetline Fish Keepers Roundtable is going to be hosted by me, Aqua Alex Cardinale, and one of my most loyalist subscribers, one of my most loyal audience members, a man that's been listening to Aquatic Wetline since its existence and has been following my YouTube channel, Steve's Aquatics. So Aquatic Wetline Fish Keepers Roundtable will be hosted by Aqua Alex and Steve's Aquatics. And there will be special guest fish keepers each month. It's going to be a monthly series. Aquatic Wetline Fish Keepers Roundtable will debut on Tuesday, April 26th, 2022, live at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. Our inaugural guest is going to be fish keeper James Anthony. Now, James and I have been friends for numerous years, all throughout my aquarium hobby. James is a great guy. He specializes in Central and South American cichlids and aggressive fish, just like I do. This is going to be the first time that I have James on my aquarium podcast, and I look forward to speaking about tropical fish with James. And I look forward to having a co-host on Aquatic Wetline for the first time in a long time. The topics for the April 2022 Fish Keepers Roundtable for Aquatic Wetline include how James, Steve, and I entered the aquarium hobby, what we have learned over the years. We'll discuss our mistakes and our successes. We'll give our advice to beginners. We'll discuss our favorite fish species and more. So make sure you guys mark your calendars. Aquatic Wetline Fish Keepers Roundtable debuts on my YouTube channel Tuesday, April 26th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And again, it is live on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale, Tuesday, April 26th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Aquatic Wetline is back. Alrighty, so that's awesome, isn't it? Aquatic Wetline is back on Tuesday, April 26th. Okay, so I have three emailed question, questions from my audience members, and they want me to answer their questions that they emailed earlier this month. So, our first question comes from one of our loyal subscribers and a good friend of mine, and it comes from Wiz Johnson. And Wiz says, "What's up, Legendary? What is the length and girth of the jaguar cichlid, aka Parachromis maniguense, endodactynoid, female rare terror, and silver dollar fish?" That's a great question, Wiz. Those are all amazing fish. So, the length and girth of a jaguar cichlid, also known as the Parachromis maniguense. The jaguar is a pretty large Central American cichlid that could be quite aggressive, but the jaguar cichlid can reach anywhere from 18 to 24 inches in length, and that is the male jaguar cichlid. The female jaguar stays a little bit smaller. It can top out at around 12 to 15 inches. As for the endodactynoid, that's a pretty large predatory fish, but it takes years to put on size. So the endodactynoid can grow anywhere from 18 to 24 inches. I've never kept the South American red terror, but I know that the male red terrors, or the fiestas, can reach anywhere from 14 to 18 inches. So I would assume that the female red terror would be anywhere between 10 to 12 inches. And silver dollars, one of my favorite fish. If you mean the common Mentinus argentis, they'll grow to be about 8 inches in length. And that's pretty much full grown for a Mentinus silver dollar. If you're talking about red hooks, the Mylius rubberapinus, they'll grow to be about 10 to 12 inches. And black bar scumberkes, the thin bar variant will be about 6 to 8. And the wide bars, which are my favorite, will top out at around 10 to 14 inches. A great question, Wiz, and I look forward to answering your other question a little bit later on today's episode of Ask Aqua Alex Live, March 2022. So thank you, Wiz, for that amazing question. Now we're going to get into our first fish topic of the evening. And I would say that in life, never say never, because you never know what will happen. But these are species of fish that, as of right now, I don't see myself keeping. But things can change, and you know how life blinks. Something goes wrong and something changes, or you go on a different path. So I don't want to say I'll never keep these fish because you never know. But I will say that these are some fish species that I personally don't see myself keeping. Up first, we have live bearers, and these would include mollies, guppies, platies, swordtails, etc. I'm just not a big fan of live bearers. I'm not a fan of buying mollies, for example, and buying a pair or three of them, and then the next day I have 1,000 of them in my home aquarium. Just not a big fan of that. But there is a benefit to that. If I were to say set up a 10-gallon and get some live bearers, and there was a whole bunch of them, then I could take those fry or those babies and put them in my 125-gallon aquarium, and my Oscar and my wolffish and all my other predatory fish would have a very delicious snack, especially if I fed the live bearers quality fish food like Hikari, frozen foods, and stuff. So that would be the only reason why I probably would uh, keep live bearers. It would be just um, to produce live foods for fish that would require live. And I really don't keep much fish that require live, luckily. The next fish that I probably would not keep would be African cichlids. Now, the picture here is a very gorgeous male African cichlid, I believe. I know next to nothing about African cichlids except that they're very aggressive. And you have to have a whole bunch of them in an aquarium in order to combat aggressive behaviors. And you have to have rock work for the fish to hide. I'm just not a fan of overcrowding an aquarium to combat aggressive behaviors. And I'm not a fan of wondering if this lab is going to kill my other lab or things like that that come with African cichlids. However, there is one species of African cichlid I have kept before and I will keep again, and that is the frontosa. The frontosa is a very, very colorful, beautiful African cichlid. I've also kept jewel cichlids before. I love them. I'm sure there's other African cichlids that I've kept, but I'm talking mainly, like the hybrid Africans, the labs, um, Malawi cichlids, all those type. I really don't know much about Africans, but I know that they can be a pain in the ass to keep. The next fish you'll probably never see me keep would be comet goldfish or common goldfish. Now, I would keep some of the fancier types, like the Shabunkin goldfish or the Aranda goldfish or the pearl scale. Those goldfish I would keep. And I've been thinking about turning my empty 55-gallon aquarium into a um, goldfish tank. That's an episode of Aqua Alex Top 10 I'm going to do next. 10 tanks I can set up my 55-gallon with. Would it be a goldfish tank or something else? We'll do an episode of that, and then I'll have my audience members vote for what I should put in the 55-gallon. But I would never keep comet goldfish, which are known as feeder goldfish. They don't have stomachs. They get too big, and what's the point of keeping comet goldfish in a home aquarium anyway? But that's just my personal opinion. Up next, for a fish I would not keep, would be the arapaima. Look at this monster. The arapaima can grow to be about 10 feet. Why in the hell would you want that in a home aquarium? I don't. There's people that don't even have 10-foot aquariums. So what are you going to do with a 10-foot fish? They don't belong in the aquarium hobby. Also, another member of the Pegasus family that's related to the iridescent shark, the Peroon shark. I would never keep a Peroon shark. They get massive. They're monstrous. They're very predatory. They live up to the shark name because they will eat small fish and they'll eat and kill their tank mates. I also probably would consider not keeping a doveye cichlid, too aggressive, or any of the other aggressive cichlids. So those are some fish that Aqua Alex Cardinale, probably would never keep, but never say never. All right. So we're going to get to the second question that my good buddy, Wiz Johnson, is asking. And this is another good question from Wiz. So let's see what Wiz has to say. Oh, that's not it. Let's see, where is it? Here it is. Wiz Johnson says, "What's up, fish keeper? How do you cycle a new aquarium? I don't have seeded media, but I have turbo start and can get other beneficial bacteria. Fish in or out preference?" And that is an amazing question, Wiz. So the answer I'm going to give on today's show is my personal answer, my personal opinion, and what has worked from my experience. So any of my viewers out there, be forewarned. This is just my personal experience and what has worked for me. I am not saying this is the only way to do it. This is God's way to do it. I'm not like any of those fish keepers out there that will tell you this is the right and only way to do it. This is just the way that has worked for me. So take that as I just said, this is my way of doing it and the way it has worked for me. So cycling a new aquarium is pretty simple. If you're moving fish from one aquarium to another, then you could just take the seeded media and actually move your filter, your filtration system from your old aquarium into your new aquarium, and that will help jumpstart a cycle. And pretty much it'd be like a large water change. But if this is an all new, brand spanking new aquarium with brand new filters, and everything, there are ways you can jumpstart your cycle. Take some of the media from one of your previous filtration on your previously cycled aquariums and put that into your new filter. Turbo Start is a great way to quickly cycle an aquarium, but your tank is still going to go through a cycle. So whether or not you have bacteria in a brand new aquarium, you're still going to have a cycle, but it won't be harmful on the fish as much. So, and I can get other beneficial bacteria. So, fish in or out preference. Well, as long as you have some sort of bacteria in there, like the turbo start and the seeded media, then you can do fish in. You could also do fish out if you prefer, but that's a while. But I have done fish in cycles, and I have never had any issues. But like I said, I used Prime, Turbo Start, and a little bit of my media from my previously established filters. Now, if you don't have seeded media, don't fret. You got Turbo Start, which has bacteria in it that's going to help jumpstart your cycle. And you've got Prime that's also going to help jumpstart your cycle as well. And you could use some of your existing aquarium water as well. But that's not really doing much, but that's adding bacteria and it could give you your head a confidence boost. So hopefully I answered your question to the best of my ability. That was a really good question, Wiz. And I'm glad you brought that up because that's a topic that I want to cover on Aqua Alex Live eventually. So great topic. All right. Well, it's time for one of my newest segments that debuted last month. This month, I have quite a reaction to a social media post that was made by an aquarium hobbyist. Let's get to our next fun segment. This one's going to be one that you guys will remember for sure. Alrighty, so for this month's edition of Aqua Alex Reacts, I am going to be reacting to two comments that were posted on my Facebook, my personal Facebook. I had made a post yesterday saying that I was sick of certain fish keepers for giving me negative criticism and basically bashing me online because I've been to the point where I feel like where people are telling me that I shouldn't be keeping fish, I take it as a personal insult and bashment at this point. And as you can see behind me, there is nothing wrong with my fish or my water. If matter of fact, if I take my banner down right now and I lower my camera, you'll see how clear my aquarium is. And you can see all the fish are actively swimming around and they're all doing really well. But that's beyond the point that I'm trying to make. The point that I'm trying to make is that I am sick. Oops, wait a minute. The point that I'm trying to make is that I am sick and tired of people, these fish tank police or Karens as I call them, telling me I shouldn't be keeping fish or that I'm a bad fish keeper simply because they react to images of old on my social media because my water wasn't what they think it should be. And really, it just pissed me off. And I made a post on Facebook yesterday saying that these people are douchebags and what they say goes in one ear and out the other. Sorry about that. I had to speak to someone really quickly. But anyway, yeah, I was making on that post yesterday. What those people say goes in one ear and out the other. But anyway, let's get right to my reaction. And the reaction I have for this month comes from a guy by the name of Victor Mueller. Now, I really don't remember or recall any interactions personally with this guy. I just know that he was a friend on my Facebook, and maybe I bought a fish from him when I was living in Massachusetts or whatever. But here is something that he posted that I want to react to. So this is one of his. Oh, that's not it. Sorry, that's our question that I answered. Here we go. So these are one of the comments that he left to someone else. So Victor Mueller says, this guy has always had a cloudy aquarium, always puts the wrong fish together, and then gets bored with that fish, sells it only to buy it back again later. Hey, Sergeant Slaughter, what country are we living in? USA, that's right. We're living in the United States of America. And in the United States of America, we have something called freedom. So if I wanted to sell a fish and buy that same fish species again, I can. Why, Victor? Well, because it's the goddamn United States of America, and I had the motherfucking freedom to do that if I wanted to. But that's beyond the point, and I have never done that before. I have never sold the fish and then bought that fish back. That has never happened, so I don't know where that theory has come from. I've only had a cloudy tank recently, so I have never always had a cloudy aquarium. Again, that's half true. And puts the wrong fish together and gets bored with them. That's an opinion. Everybody has an asshole, and everybody has an opinion. So I'll take what you just said with a grain of salt, as that's a really stupidic and idiotic opinion that I really don't need. So we'll just keep it at that. So, so the next reaction I have is a more idiotic one. You guys are going to get a laugh out of this one. This is from the same guy, Victor Mueller. He says, Alex Cardinale, I guess we're going by a full name basis now. I've seen, we're gonna lose brain cells reading this together because there's a poor mispronunciation here. I've seen sell fish on Craigslist, and people complain you sold them sick fish. How red hook silver dollar fish. I've seen you buy, sell them, buy again, and put fish together that do not belong. They will eat each other. Wow. I felt like a 5-year-old reading that. I mean, I'm pretty sure my beagle can write better than that. Um, but yes, I have sold fish on Craigslist before. Many hobbyists do that, so I don't see a problem with that. People complain you sold them sick fish. How red hook silver dollar? No, I have never ever sold anybody sick aquarium fish. Never ever. No, I have never sold anybody sick fish. And if I did, I would correct that situation. So I don't know why you're making up lies. I mean, you're pretty much a bad liar. If you're going to lie about something, make it believable. I take great care of my fish. If you don't believe me, just ask one of my brothers or my father, because most of my paychecks go into my aquarium, whether it's fish food or supplies. So if you're going to try to make me out to be this bad fish keeper, at least have something that is believable. At least have something that is backed up and proven. Because to my knowledge, there is no one out there that can say with factual information that I have sold them sick fish. And I've only sold fish in Massachusetts. And most of my clientele in Massachusetts, and the God's honest truth, were drug addicts. So if someone was to say that I sold them sick fish, it probably was because they weren't going to lowball me anymore. But no one has ever told me that I sold them sick fish. Probably because it's not true. So that was just something that you were thinking of saying that would get me riled up. But trust me, it takes a hell of a lot more than a lie to get me riled up. And again, your last statement there, that I put fish together that don't belong, they will eat each other. What the heck are you talking about? I've got red hook silver dollars. I've got black bar silver dollars. I've got an Oscar. I've got Severums and a couple other fish. So you're trying to tell me that the fish that I keep don't get along? Does it look like they're not getting along? I think they're getting along pretty well. So whatever you're smoking, I definitely want to smoke what you're smoking, because you're so high writing that statement that what you're saying isn't believable. But anyway, there's an old saying that a short 5'3" guy said at a bagel shop in New York, that I'm going to say to people that tell me that I shouldn't be keeping fish, or I should be keeping different types of fish. You're not God, you're not my father, or you're not my boss. So you can't tell me what I can do. Only I can tell myself what to do. All right, that's enough of that for this episode of Ask Aqua Alex Live, March 2022. So you guys know that I am an open book. I am 100% real. And no matter the episode, I keep it real with everybody. So there you have it. So if you're going to come at me on social media, well, you best be prepared. I'm going to come back at you. But I'm going to do it in my way, and that is on my YouTube platform. So if you can't handle the heat, stay out of the kitchen. So if you don't want me to bash you on my video, stay out of the heat and stay out of the kitchen. All right, very well said. Wiz is in the house. Hey, Wiz, how are you? And Wiz has a great question. Wiz wants to know, what take mates can you keep with bucktooth tetra, Exodon tetras, if any? I have personally never kept Exodons or bucktooth tetras in the past or present. But from what I've heard, Exodons are great tank mates for piranhas, Pygrocentrus species, because they can compete with them. And if they try to nip the Pygrocentrus piranha, the piranhas will nip them back. So I would keep them with piranhas or other predatory fish, something that will defend itself, so that if it were to attack that predatory fish and that predatory fish fought back, it may leave it alone. That was a great question. And Wiz says, keep letting them know. Stand up for yourself. Love it. Yes, I feel that if someone is being a bully, the best way to shut that bully up, besides punching them in the face or kicking them in the nuts, is to stand up for yourself. And I have no problem doing that. As a matter of fact, I kind of enjoy standing up for myself. So, that's very well said. So thank you, Wiz, and I'm glad you enjoyed that. All right, so that was Aqua Alex Reacts. Hopefully next month we'll have something more positive to react to, because I'm sick and tired of people disrespecting me as a fish keeper, and I'm sick and tired of people saying, "Oh, my fish look like they're dying, or they're in desperate strength, or they're in bad water." When the fact of the matter is, they're in very good hands now, and as you can see behind me, my tank looks really, really good. All right, so moving along, we're going to get to our next fish keeping topic, and it's going to be on aquatic reptiles and amphibians that I want to keep. Believe it or not, I have never kept aquatic reptiles or amphibians. But my dad has. He had red ear slider turtles. I have respect for turtles. I think they're a very intelligent animal, and I think they're a very cool animal. Now, there are people that think that turtles are, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say filthy. Um, Shoot, what's that word I'm looking for? I'll just say filthy. People say that turtles can cause disease and they're dirty. But as long as you wear gloves when you're handling turtles, I don't see any problems. So, one of the turtle species that I want to keep is called a yellow belly slider turtle. I mean, look how cute that is. You can't tell me that that is not a cute turtle. Precious. Very, very cute. It looks like Leonardo from that Ninja Turtle show. Really, really cool. Also, I would love to keep a red ear slider turtle. My dad had them, and I've had friends that kept them. Pretty cool. Frogs. I like African clawed frogs. And again, this is an albino African clawed frog. Very, very colorful and very gorgeous. And the last aquatic reptile amphibian that I would want to keep is an axolotl. And my friend Matt Thibodeau, or excuse me, Matt Thibodeau, keeps axolotls. He breeds them, and he does a great job. We'll have to have him on here to talk about axolotls. But axolotls are a very, very unique aquatic animal, and I definitely can see myself keeping them in the future. So those are the aquatic reptiles and amphibians that I, Aqua Alex Cardinale, would like to keep in the future. So Wiz says, slap them like Will Smith did Chris Rock on Oscars. I saw that. I saw that. I would definitely do that. If someone came up to me in person and said that I was a terrible fish keeper, I'd slap them across the face and then give them a right hand and knock them on their ass. And then I'd put them in a chokehold until they passed out. That's funny. Oh, my God. That's awesome. All right. So I think right now is the perfect time for us to take our commercial break, which is brought to us by my good friend, Jeremy Stellhorn, who has a aquatic business. My friend Jeremy sells products on his website, littleegyptaquariumclub.com. Now, on there, you'll find driftwood, sponge filters, which I definitely have to get. I think it's time for me to add a sponge filter to my aquarium. And I think if I add a sponge filter, my water will be much better. And that's what's missing, I think. Now I've got the Fluval FX4. And if I had a sponge filter, then I think my water would be perfect every single time. But you can find sponge filters on Little Egypt Aquarium Club. You can find fish food, rapashi, etc. So go check out littleegyptaquariumclub.com. And don't forget to use my coupon code ALEX to save 10%. So here is the quick infomercial for more information. And when we come back, we're going to show off some of the amazing fish that my audience members submitted. And we'll answer one more question, and we'll wrap up this amazing show. This has been a blast so far, and this is why I really enjoy doing the Fish Keepers Q&A monthly.
The following message is brought to you by Jeremy Stellhorn and Little Egypt Aquarium Club. Get our awesome aquarium products and find out how to save 10% using coupon code ALEX.
Hello, I am Brandy Cardinale the Beagle. I'm here to introduce Aqua Alex, and he has a special message. He's going to tell you a place where to get high-quality aquarium supplies and how to save 10%.
Hey everybody, Aqua Alex Cardinale here. I've got a very special announcement for you. My buddy Jeremy Stellhorn has an online business called Little Egypt Aquarium Club, that specializes in aquarium supplies such as driftwood and Bucko Cave and also tropical fish food. Little Egypt Aquarium Club provides aquarium hobbyists with the specialized tropical fish food and aquarium supplies. I personally recommend Rapashi tropical fish food. Little Egypt Aquarium Club has plenty of Rapashi. You can find Rapashi Community Plus for all your community fish, and you can even find Rapashi Morningwood for your royal plecos and your Panacu plecos that need wood in their diet. LittleEgyptAquariumClub.com, your home for all sorts of aquarium supplies and tropical fish food. Be like Aqua Alex and purchase Rapashi for your aquarium fish. I have predatory fish, and even they themselves love Rapashi. And get this, I, Aqua Alex Cardinale, love saving money when I buy quality aquarium products. I'm here to help you save money. So when you purchase from LittleEgyptAquariumClub.com, I'm going to give you a discount code so that you can save 10%. All you need to do at checkout is use coupon code ALEX to save 10% on your order. That's right, to save 10% on your order, just use coupon code ALEX. LittleEgyptAquariumClub.com. Every purchase helps Aqua Alex, and it'll help you as well. So go to LittleEgyptAquariumClub.com, place an order, and use the coupon code ALEX to get 10% off. Now, back to the tropical fish chat. All right, welcome back to the March 2022 Fish Keepers Q&A. Ask Aqua Alex Live. If you're tuned in live, don't forget to post your fish keeping questions in the chat and I will answer them. And you can also answer my questions, which are the Aqua Alex Ask You for March 2022. The questions that I'm asking you are, do you like doing trade-ins with your local fish store or rehoming to fish keepers via social media? What are your favorite freshwater schooling fish? And are you for or against monster fish being kept in the aquarium hobby? Simply post your answers and your questions in the comments. So right now, this is one of my most look forward to segment that I look forward to doing on Ask Aqua Alex Live. And this is only my second month of doing it, and there's been some great submissions this month. There's only like 4 or 5 submissions, but they're all beautiful, gorgeous fish. And right now, I'm happy to showcase them. This is the Fish Keepers Show Off. Alrighty, it's time to see other fish keepers' amazing fish. The first fish we're going to see is an Oscar cichlid that comes from Kelly's Aquatics on monsterfishkeepers.com. Yes, Aqua Alex is a member on monsterfishkeepers.com, so go check out that amazing fish form. And here's Kelly's amazing Oscar cichlid. I bet you're gonna agree with me that this is a very gorgeous Oscar. So this appears to be a Latino tiger Oscar, which basically is a Oscar that was born white but is not albino because it has the black pigmentation. but a very gorgeous Oscar nonetheless. And I see a beautiful tiger Oscar in the background. So thank you to Kelly for showing us off this amazing Oscar. I love Oscars. They have a very special place in my heart, and they're an amazing fish. Up next, my buddy, my best friend, Kevin from Massachusetts. He's got a very gorgeous datnoid that he's going to check. He's going to be showing us off. So check out Kevin on Facebook and Instagram. He's got amazing datnoids, and he's always posting pictures of them. So here is the datnoid that Kevin wants to show off right now. Very, very cool predatory fish. A monster datnoid for sure. Or as they say in the old days, for shizzle. Very, very cool fish. The next fish that's going to be showing off is from my friend James Anthony, who's going to be the first guest on the return of Aquatic Wetline. And he's showing off a very nice German blue ram that he got. So let's check out the German blue ram cichlid that James got. Isn't this a very beautiful ram cichlid? You know, I've really been putting a lot of thought into what I'm going to do with my next aquarium, and that is my tank over here, which is a 55-gallon. And I've been thinking about doing angelfish, rams, maybe some epistogrammas, and corridorus. And after seeing this picture of James's German blue ram, I'm really, really leaning towards getting a couple of rams. They're a very, very colorful fish. Very, very gorgeous. Awesome looking fish, if you were to ask me my personal opinion on it. Up next, another friend of mine from South Florida by the name of Daryl. And he's showing off one of my personal favorite fish, and that is the red hook silver dollar. Let's take a look at the beautiful red hook silver dollar that Daryl is showing off. Our last image. And again, this is a mature adult red hook, very pretty. I love that face that silver dollars have. I love that red cheek that the red hook has. An amazing looking fish. And there's one video for the Fish Keeper show off for March 2022, and it's of a silver arowana from Daryl. So let's take a look at Daryl's silver arowana. So let me get to my video section here, and we'll show it off. Very, very nice. I love silver arowanas. Very, very cool and awesome fish, and one that is awesome. So we've got a couple more things to do, and then we'll wrap up this amazing Q&A. Wiz or Sierra says, if I were to keep an aquatic reptile, it would be a snapping turtle, like I did when I was younger. Those are pretty cool, but I kind of get scared of them. They could do a lot of damage, but they're an awesome turtle nonetheless. I like the fly river turtles as well. So we actually have one more emailed question for me to answer. This one was actually posted on my YouTube, one of my YouTube videos. And I don't know if it was a wise remark or an actual question, but here it is. Let's see if I can find it. It comes from somebody by the name of Ryan Lockard, and he says, Dude, do you ever do water changes on your aquarium? And the answer is no, nope. I don't ever do water changes on my aquarium. No, I don't. What I do is I just feed the fish. I throw food in. I throw pellets, market shrimp, whatever the fish eat. I let them shit, and then I keep letting them shit and eat. And then I go to the fish store and I buy more fish and I dump them in and I put them in there. And I let the water continually to get brown. No, I don't do water changes. What the hell do you think? Do you think I do water changes? Yes, of course I do water changes. Yes, I do water changes. I do them very, very frequently. I do them 2 times a week or sometimes even more. So I get what your question is about. It's because in my previous videos where I had a 75 gallon, the water wasn't looking like it should be. And I get that. But you have to understand that the tank behind me, that video is going through a cycle, but my water is looking a lot better now. So I hope that answers your question. Of course, I was being sarcastic. Of course, I definitely do water changes. Again, it just gets sickening seeing those kind of questions popping up on my YouTube. I love seeing comments, but the same one over and over and over again just happens to get on your nerve sometime. And once you become a YouTuber like me, you'll recognize that comments like that will get under your skin. Oh, look who's out. My Pleco is finally out. So the Pleco is coming to say hi, which is pretty cool. Wiz says, I love monster fish and they should stay in the hobby. My favorite schooling fish is the silver dollars, especially the blueberry. Those are very beautiful. And the black bar, which is also very beautiful. I actually have a school of black bars. You may see them in my video, or they probably were in this video at some point. They like to swim around really fast, too fast sometimes for my camera to pick up. So very fun video today. There's one final thing to do and one last segment, and that is what I call the online fish store stock list. And that's where we check out the stock list for tangledupincichlids.com, exoticfishshop.com, and malonesmonsters.com. Now, my friend Wiz and Steve's Aquatics are going to be getting a shipment from Tangled Up in Cichlids pretty soon whenever I get back on my feet financially. I'll be helping them out get some fish, so that's going to be exciting. But right now, we're going to get onto the online fish store stock list, and I think Kevin may have put up a new stock list right now. So let me share the screen so I can show you the stock list. All right, let's see. All right. So that should work. Let's see. Okay. Is it sharing the screen at all? I can't tell. There we go. Alrighty, so let me remove the banner. I think removing the banner would make it a lot easier for you guys to see. All right, how does that look? Let's head on over to tangledupincichlids.com. And yes, he has updated the stock list. So let's see if there's anything interesting. So this is the first time that I'm actually seeing the stock list for this week. So this is a live look at Tangled Up in Cichlids stock list. A first for me, a very first for me. So let's see, any interesting fish here. Some of the stuff he had last month. The Texas cichlids are pretty cool. The juvenile grow outs of electric blue, very colorful fish. Let's take a look at it. Very cool cichlid. I definitely consider getting one. Very nice looking Central American cichlid. Even though I'm more of a South American guy, there are some Central Americans that I like. Parachromis maniguense, the Rio Danto variants are very beautiful. Look at the coloration of them. This is a subadult here, but this is the kind of jaguar cichlid maniguense that is one of my favorites. Very pretty fish. Very colorful. The motaguense from Rio Blanco are very nice as well. So a very interesting fish. Very cool. An awesome looking Central American cichlid. The red bay snooks. The green ones are pretty too. Let's see what these guys look like. These are the wild caught green or red based snook. So the orange ones are pretty cool, but the original wild variants are awesome looking as well. Pretty much a cool snook, freshwater snook cichlid to have in the aquarium. Jack Dempsey's and Firemouth, pretty much a classic Central American cichlid. Same thing as the Salvinis, very, very cool. As for South American cichlids, we've got the threadfin acaras, which are nice. The green terror, which are one of my favorites. There's wild caught Oscars, both the Astronautus ocellatus and decent sizes. I wish I had my first paycheck because I get the Bumblebee Oscar. I've been after one of them for such a long time now. Uh, Cicla monos, the mono peacock bass, very nice fish. Now, this pike cichlid right here is what I wanted to show off. Very, very awesome pike. It's a gold spotted pike, very colorful. And it's also not a pike that's going to outgrow many aquariums. This pike will reach about 10 inches, so it does great in a 125 or so. Very, very cool pike cichlid. And you guys know that I love pike cichlids. It's been a while since I had one, though. I love geophagus. There's a plethora of them available at tangledupincichlids.com. Umbies, if you're into umbies, he has a bunch of them. They're just super aggressive for me. The Fiestes, I really want one, but I don't have any tank space for an inch and a half to 2.5 inch fish. But look at the beauty of that. I mean, I could get one and grow it out in my 55, but I don't know yet. We'll have to see. Altum Angels, very, very gorgeous fish. And Kevin always has a hardy stock of Altums. Ooh, Santa Perca Leacoustica. They're kind of small for me, though. Waru, very, very gorgeous cichlids. Let's move on to catfish. Pretty much the same, with the exception of the albino hapalo catfish. The Pimelodus pictus, those are very nice. And you know what? I was thinking today that if I ever have to rehome my vulture cats, I would probably trade them for a school of pictus cats. Because I think the vultures are basically a very, 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 very bigger version of the pictus cats. Pretty cool. And Cherisons, you got the tinfoil barbs, pink-tailed chalceus, but these ones are the yellow fins, which they look a little bit different than the pink-tailed chalceus looks. As you can see, they have like a yellow fin and a black spot, but still an interesting looking fish. Hapala barbs, pretty cool. Leperinus, spotted silver dollars, black bar silver dollars, red hooks, and pretty much that's it for Kevin's stock. So Kevin has amazing stock, and again, that stock is available at tangledupincichlids.com. Up next, we have exoticfishshop.net, which is owned by a gentleman by the name of Steve. Let's see what he has for, let's look at large fish, for example. Peacock bass are cool. Fire eels are an awesome fish. Alligator gar, awesome. Tiger datnoid, awesome. I wish I had paycheck right now. I really want a datnoid. Flagtail Procelotus, Vampire Pleco, Barramundi. I have never seen them before. It's been a while since I've seen them. Pretty cool. Let's take a look at cichlids, and then we'll get ready to wrap up the show. Pretty awesome live stream today. This is the Severum I wanted to show off. I have never seen one so beautiful. Look at the coloration of this Severum for 123 bucks. I obviously would not mind paying that. That is a very, very colorful Severum. And lastly, we've got Aquatic Rarities, aka Malone's Monsters. My friend Bob, he's a very nice man. I've bought many fish from him before and will do so in the future again. Lungfish, $65. That's a great deal. Florida gar, $65. Black bar silver dollars for 40, a great deal. Yellowtail barracudas, very nice. Tiger silver dollars, very nice. Medium silver dollars for 20, that's not bad. That's actually a very reasonable price. And now my computer is going to load. I forgot that I have the slowest loading computer. He's got a plethora of wild-caught discus, which you don't see much often in the aquarium hobby. Pink-tailed chalceus, sheephead's pacu, pretty rare in the aquarium. Dalhousie biker and Lacheri biker. So pretty much an exciting stock list there as well. All right. So those are the stock list for Tangled Up in Cichlids, Exotic Fish Shop, and Aquatic Rarities. Check out their websites and purchase fish from them in the upcoming month of April. And I can't wait to go over their stock list in April of 2022. All right, we have reached the end of this month's Q&A. I had a frigging great time, and I sure as hell hope my audience did as well. I'm sure some of you had some laughs and enjoyed the show. I want to thank each and every one of you for the love and for supporting my show. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and thank you for your questions as well. I enjoyed answering the snakehead question. I enjoyed answering Liz's questions. And I want to thank everybody that tuned in live and caught the replay of today's video. It is greatly appreciated. March is coming to an end. I want to thank everybody for a great March. This month, we created history on my YouTube channel. We had a great 8-year YouTube celebration that was mostly fish related, but it was fun. So thank you guys for that. And thank you for a very successful Ask Aqua Alex Live. I look forward to next month. April 2022, Ask Aqua Alex Live is going to air one day after Aquatic Wetline makes its comeback. That's right. Ask Aqua Alex Live, April 2022, will air Wednesday, April 27th, 2022, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. So please email your fish keeping questions to Alex Go Yankees Cardinale 19 at gmail.com. And don't forget to send your fish and aquarium photos for next month's Fish Keepers Show Off. With that being said, have a great rest of your March, or whatever's left of it, Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday, and I believe Thursday. And enjoy the rest of your March and have a great April. And I, Aqua Alex Cardinale, will answer your questions on the April 2022 Fish Keepers Q&A. Don't miss the return of Aquatic Wetline, April 26th. Aqua Alex saying enjoy the aquarium hobby, stay safe, feed your fish high-quality fish food, and I will see you on the next Ask Aqua Alex Live. Bye. Happy Easter from me, Easter Bunny Alex Cardinale. I, Easter Bunny Alex Cardinale, will be hosting the inaugural Easter 2022 Bash, which will be airing right here on this YouTube channel Saturday, April 16th, 2022 at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Just one day before Easter, join me, Easter Bunny Alex Cardinale, for a special Easter Bash. The very first one to be hosted by Easter Bunny Alex Cardinale. Easter Bunny is proud to announce there will be Easter appearances by Aqua Alex Cardinale and Chef Alex Cardinale. Chef Alex is going to make one of my favorite treats. Chef Alex will show you how to make honey roasted carrots, and he will make one awesome Easter dessert, and Chef Alex will give tips for hosting a delicious Easter dinner. Now, I'm a bunny, but I love tropical fish. So I've called upon Aqua Alex to be on the Easter 2022 Bash. Aqua Alex will discuss Easter-themed aquarium fish, and he will discuss the saltwater rabbit fish, aka fox faces, and the spotted rabbit fish. And Aqua Alex will discuss treats that I could give your fish as Easter Bunny Alex Cardinale. Now, I, Easter Bunny Alex Cardinale, will discuss my favorite Easter memories. I will have a message for people of all ages. I'll discuss the true meaning of Easter, and I may enjoy some Easter candy with all of you. It's going to be a fun time. Legendary Alex Cardinale is going to join me to paint some Easter eggs. So what will we paint the Easter eggs? You got to tune in to find out. Happy Easter, everybody. I hope you enjoy the Easter season, and most importantly, I hope you'll tune in to the Easter 2022 Bash, live Saturday, April 16th, 2022, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, exclusively on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. Happy Easter, and go get those Easter candies.